This is WCBG, broadcasting from Wagner College in Staten Island, New York. WCBG, small college, big voice. This is Jeanine, back with another interview session. Today's is with the amazing Australian artist, Jack Gray. If you haven't heard of him, please be sure to check out his music. It's fantastic. I know in a lot of the interviews I've done, I talk about this relatability factor, but when I heard his music, it was definitely something that kind of stuck with me, and I hope you guys enjoy it and want to share it with everyone. So stay tuned for this amazing interview. I know I learned a lot, and I can't wait to see what he does in the future.
Hello.
Hello, Jack?
Hello.
Hi, this is Jeanine.
Hey, Jean. How you doing?
I'm good, how are you?
Very well, thank you. What's happening?
Oh, not much. Just getting ready to go back to school, so always fun. How about you?
I'm sitting on my balcony. I'm actually in Sydney, in the middle of recording my first album. So just having a coffee, getting ready for the day, and yeah, just chilling out.
Very exciting. Yeah, it's morning there, right?
Yeah, it's 11 o'clock in the morning, so
Yeah.
just kind of rising now.
Yeah, it's about time for Jeopardy here, so that's a bad joke. Sorry.
No, it's amazing. Awesome.
So I was wondering if you can tell me a little bit about you. Like, start with a fun fact.
Of course. Okay. So I'm Jack Gray. I am from North Queensland, Australia, and I've grown up my whole life playing music. And I've recently relocated to Los Angeles, and I'm a producer, writer, artist, and I'm about to release my first album this year, which I'm super excited for. And yeah, that's kind of what's happening with me at the moment.
Amazing. I love that. I was wondering, how did you get into music?
So my dad is a drummer, and he used to play in like a bunch of bands growing up. And when I was growing up, I would, like, every Friday night and Saturday night, I would go help him set up for his gig at the pub, and help him play. I was his little roadie. So I was just fascinated with the whole thing. Everyone in my family played an instrument, and I was just surrounded by it, basically. And so I just became so obsessed with everything. I wanted to learn piano, guitar, bass, drums, and I just grew up doing I would come home from school and just jam out in like the family band room. And I was basically just obsessed my whole life, and I still am. It's my one true love, to sound really corny.
No, it's okay. Music's like a totally different language. It communicates a lot, emotions and everything as well. So what's your...
It's so fascinating.
No, it definitely is. I used to play the trumpet like years ago, so like I kind of understand. But music's always been something important to me, which is why I love doing these interviews. So what's your favorite instrument that you know how to play?
Good question. Probably the guitar. Like, I go through phases. Like, there was a phase where the bass guitar was my favorite, because there's something about a groovy bass line that just gets the body moving, and it's just super fun to play. And then also piano, I went through a stage of that where, like, it's just the nicest instrument to write on, in my opinion. And then the drums, obviously, my dad's a drummer, so, like, and hitting things is really, really fun. Hitting things really hard, you can let out a lot of frustration. But guitar is, at the end of the day, that's my baby girl, and I can't ever forget that. And that was my first instrument I learned, and that'll be my favorite, I think, my whole life. So
that's so cute. Oh, what type of guitar do you have?
I have a few. So I have a Maiden, and like an acoustic guitar. It's like an Australian company. It's called Maiden, and it's an EBG 808L, to be super nerdy. But also, like, the model. The reason I got it, I needed a new guitar before I moved to Los Angeles, and I went into the shop, and I had a budget, and this guitar was way over that budget, but it's called the Australian, and I thought it would be absolutely ridiculous of me not to get that guitar. So I have that. That's an acoustic guitar, and then I have a Fender Stratocaster. It's Ed O'Brien edition from Radiohead, so it's got like this sustainer mod on it, and then I also have a Fender Jazzmaster.
Nice. I'm still learning a lot about
Yeah,
these things. I think they're pretty interesting. So,
yeah, they definitely are. It's a wormhole for sure.
yeah,
Rabbit hole is the one.
I understood what you
Yeah,
meant. It's
for sure.
okay. So,
It's early in the morning.
yeah, it's late here, so I get it. I listened to a lot of your music. I found it fascinating. Like, for me, I get into different moods when I listen to different types of music, and honestly, found you on Spotify. Spotify is sometimes great for these things, and I was obsessed. Like,
For
I was
sure.
literally like, wow. I love the way.
That's so sweet. Thank you so much.
Oh, no problem. I just love the way that the lyrics combined with the production like fit so perfectly, and you can tell like the
Oh,
emotion and the
thank
thought
you.
that went into it. So I was wondering.
Yeah, sorry,
No,
keep
no,
going.
you go first.
Oh no, I was just gonna say that means a lot. That first record, because it's a very personal record for me because that's pretty much the whole thing was done in my bedroom. I had my mates come through and we would write some songs together, but it was all I made every sound and it was just I'm very close to that record, so that means a lot. So thank you.
And that actually leads to my next question. What is your writing and production process like?
It's honestly it's different every single time. For that first EP that I put out
Mm-hmm.
and pretty much everything before that has just been me in my bedroom with my little studio set up, doing whatever I want, like just throwing paint at the wall and seeing what sticks. And um, now, more recently, I've been collaborating with other producers and other writers, which I've absolutely loved because I feel like I've just learned so much more. But just as far as songs go, it's like it's different every time. Sometimes I start with a drum loop. I'll program in a drum loop. I'll record like some guitar riff that I've been working on, or a bass line, or anything like that, like a synth sound. And then I'll get like a vibe happening, something that starts to like make me feel something. I feel like that's really important to me. I need to feel something before I can actually write to it. And then I just like hum in a melody, I guess. Um, and then, well, it's different every time. Like I said, I could either hum in a melody and then start like writing a hook to it, and then like workshopping that hook and just changing lines in and out. Or it could be like I have just these words that really fit, and then um, I put a beat to those words. I don't, you know what I mean? It's like
Mm-hmm.
it's different every song, but I have the luxury of time, and because I do it in my bedroom, and I can do it whenever I want, whenever I feel inspired, and I think that's really important for me in my songwriting process.
I love that. What's your favorite lyric that you've ever written?
I love that question. Let me think about that for 2 seconds.
I know it's hard.
It's really hard. Um, Now I've got no friends. How did this happen again? I need you to stop. I don't know if I can swear right now, but effing with them. I love that line because I was living in Sydney at the time, and I was with this girl that was definitely toxic for me. I was kind of blinded by a lot of it, and I lost a lot of friends because I put her before them, and they could see something that I couldn't, and all that nonsense. And that just resonates with me a lot, that line. So, yeah.
To be honest, that was my favorite lyric out of the songs I've listened to. Kind of struck home for me. So,
No way.
yeah.
No way. That's hilarious. There
Once I heard
you go.
Fools, I was like, no, like, I have to reach out to him because honestly, like, you deserve more recognition. And so,
That's the sweetest thing ever. Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
so on a kind of different note, what artists inspire you to become a better artist?
Um, all different kinds of artists, really. At the moment, I'm gonna start off with my most recent, Dominic Fike, and I'm sure you're all over Dominic Fike. But he just recently, very recently, I stumbled across his stuff, and I just think he's an absolute genius, and I love his sound, I love his vibe. I think he's super cool. So he's inspired me lately. Um, and throwing it back to like high school, I was into like a lot of Australian bands that you might not know, but like Ballpark Music, Sticky Fingers, San Cisco. They're kind of like indie rock, pop
Okay.
kind of vibes. I had that was a big influence for me in high school. And then when I did a year after high school in college. I studied a Bachelor of Music, and I met some really great friends, and they all introduced me to, like, this sounds stupid, but they introduced me to Drake and like Khalid and Frank Ocean and all that stuff. And like obviously I'd heard of those guys before, but I was the guy that knew Hotline Bling and nothing else of Drake. So they showed me the ropes, and so I got obsessed with all that stuff. And then kind of at the same time, I was obsessed with a lot of UK acts like Jack Garrett. I love Jack Garrett. I think he's a genius. At the moment, Youngblood. I think Youngblood is really, really, really cool. But yeah, there's a bunch of different stuff for you to digest.
Yeah, the staff normally makes fun of me because I tend to live under a rock when it comes to like stuff like that. It's a time for me.
Well, me too. Me too. My friends are constantly showing me music, and I'm like, they're like, "Have you heard of this band?" I'm like, "No." They're like, "You literally know nothing." I'm like, "I know. I really don't."
So we have a question that our PR director Grace came up with. It tends to be a kind of, it's a question. Basically,
Lay it on me.
Okay, I'm sorry. So the question is, what is your opinion of releasing an artist's unreleased music after they've passed away? Should it be released or should it not?
That is an interesting question. And it's so crazy you say that, because I had a chat with me and my best friend do a lot of writing together, and that's kind of how our friendship was started, and it's been such a cool thing having a best mate that's doing the exact same thing as you. And yesterday we were like talking about XXXTentacion and how many albums that they've released after him passing away.
Right.
And I'm not a fan of it. I don't agree with it. Well, I don't agree with how much they've done, I guess. Basically I told him, dude, if somehow something happens and I pass, I want you to be in charge of what of my demo, like what demos of mine get released, because I only want to select few, and I know that he knows me well enough to put out something that I would be happy with, if you know what I mean.
Right.
But it's hard to judge. Look, I think it's something that's different for everybody, but because, as an artist, you're working every day, and you've got all the stuff that you're super proud of and you can't wait to release, and if sadly enough you pass away, I guess you would still want that stuff to be out there in the world. So I think, yes, it should still come out, but they should have somebody close to them who would know them well enough to cull the nonsense and know what they would want to put out. That's a terrible answer, but if you can decipher my terrible answer, then yes, you can kind of get an idea of what I mean.
No, I definitely understand what you're saying. You're talking about how somebody who, it shouldn't be up to the industry or the record label to decide. It should be up to somebody.
Exactly.
Right.
Sorry, that's exactly it. Yes.
Yes, I feel like this topic is kind of something that needs to be discussed more, since it's been happening so much in today's day and age.
Definitely.
So I believe we are about the same age. So I was wondering, what is your opinion of being a younger artist in the music industry?
Look, we're the next wave, and I think there's a lot of hope in young people. I feel like that's what, like all the kids in high school, what about, like, they're listening to all, like, kids their age. They're listening to 16-year-old SoundCloud rappers. They're listening to 18-year-old producers from you know what I mean? So, like, it's a bit of a dangerous place. There's not even dangerous. It's a pretty sketchy field to be in. There's a lot of people out that don't have your best interests at heart. And I think if you have a good network of people around you, good family and friends who are looking out for you, and like a mentor in the industry, if you can find someone you really trust that has your back and actually knows a little bit about it, that can help guide you through, that is a massive leg up. But for me, and for a lot of my friends that were doing the same thing, you just kind of stumble your way through it. You like, if I've been burned. I've worked with people who most certainly did not have my best interest at heart, and I had a big falling out with a partner of mine, and I learned so much from it. So although bad things can happen along the way, you learn so much from it, and you grow as a person and as an artist. And I feel like it made me so much stronger, and with my like beliefs and my opinions, and like I can put my foot down, and if I believe in something, I will make it happen. And I wasn't necessarily like that before this bad experience per se. So you just gotta fake it till you make it. Stumble your way through this whole life thing, through this whole music thing, and if you've got the drive and the dedication, you'll get where you're going.
I feel like it is like this huge life journey, especially like me being on the outside and kind of just like observing everything from different artists and different songs that have been released. It's kind of fascinating to see how music kind of reflects that in general.
For sure, for sure, for sure. Couldn't agree more.
So, what do you do when you're not writing music?
Um, I hang out with my friends, I guess. I don't like. There's not a lot of time in my life where I'm not making music because all of my friends are in the music industry, and so when I come home and like me and my mates have a couple of beers, what we want to do is go into the studio and write songs. So I guess it's my life. Yeah, literally revolves around music. But when I'm not doing that, I guess we go to the bar or a pub and we grab a pint and we play some pool, some eight ball, and that's pretty much the extent of my life outside of music is playing pool at a pub and hanging with my family. Like that's about it.
Friends and family are always super important, especially like, oh, when life gets busy. Always nice to take a step back and like reevaluate and be like, oh, okay, it's gonna be okay.
100, 110%. Like that's one of my biggest beliefs is like, and like you're not gonna believe it. I literally wrote a song. It's gonna be on this first album called One Step Back, and it's about getting really caught up in your own wave and needing to take a step back and realizing, what is real, what's important, and just trying to find time for that because that is so important for an artist, mental stability it's better for our writing too. You know what I mean? If you take a moment to like go away from it all, live your life, hang out with your girlfriend, go to dinner with your parents, go out to the pub with your friends, you have more stories, you have more, more inspiration. So yes, I couldn't agree more with what you said.
Can you tell me a little bit more about this album that you're planning on releasing?
Um, I can tell you that I'm really excited about it, and it's a lot more. So it's a lot more minimal. So my first record was kind of me discovering myself musically and like finding myself in the production land. And I kind of feel like as much as I love the record, I did go to town and I wasn't afraid of like holding back. I put in like so many sounds and I love it. And that's like a part of my life and that's like a chapter that I had. But this next record is more minimalistic, like organic instruments and like fewer elements and really focusing on, 3 or 4 sounds as opposed to just throwing in 50 sounds. So that's something to expect. And yeah, I'm actually just super pumped about it. Like I've got so many songs that I like can relate to, not can relate to because every song I relate to, but that songs that move me when I listen back to them, and that doesn't normally happen when you write a song yourself. So yeah, I'm pumped. And I'm excited for everyone else to hear it.
I can't wait. I know a lot of your songs, as I said earlier, super relatable and just very interesting to listen to. And I think since you said this new album's going to be a little bit more minimalistic, but at the same time, I kind of feel like it's part of growing up, like discovering yourself and discovering the sound and the direction you want to go in.
Exactly right. I'm growing up. I'm finding myself, and I'll always like every record, every artist through history. It's like they change, they evolve, and that's just what I'm going through. So I'm on a minimalistic wave. So let's ride that.
Okay. So my last question for you would be, what are your plans for the new decade of 2020?
I am going to do a lot of traveling, a lot of touring. I want to play my songs all around the world and just write better music and yeah, and just make time for my friends and family, because that's really, when it comes down to it, that's what this life is about, and that's what's most important. So I just want to be really happy with where I'm at in 10 years. I want to, I want to be really stable and feel really good on the inside. And although it sounds stupid, a lot of people find that hard to do. So, yeah, I want to keep my head screwed on.
It's definitely not stupid. At the end of the day, like, you have to be proud of what you're putting out and be proud of, well, you. So that's exciting.
Exactly.
And I know.
Exactly.
I can't wait to see what you do next. So thank you again for interviewing with me. I was super excited.
No, thank you so much. Thank you so much. You're very sweet, and I really appreciate it. And good luck to you on everything. And I'm sure we'll be talking soon.
Thank you, and you too. I can't wait to see what you do next. So have a great day.
All right. Awesome. See you later. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye. Thank you guys for tuning in today. Again, that was Jack Gray. I was thrilled to share his music with you guys because he definitely deserves some more recognition. I know artists like him are going to be the ones that change our decade going forward, so I can't wait to see what he does next, and be sure to check out his album when it drops.
I'm not sure what this is like. 4 steps forward, 2 steps right. Round in circles, I don't mind. I said this before, cause I know what you're like. Take me down or take me out. Take me down or take me out. You talk too much, I can't keep up, cause you took my head when you took my hands. I'm all choked up, that's close enough, cause you took my head when you took my hands. Your lips taste like 2 a.m. Same old story, different end. Is that the reason you keep on feeding all of these empty thoughts you believe in? This one's on me though, cause I keep on feeding. Sure, this is fun, but that's all it is. So take me down or take me out. Take me down or take me out. You talk too much, I can't keep up, cause you took my head when you took my hands. I'm all choked up, that's close enough, cause you took my head when you took my hands. You know it's heavy on your chest, oh man. It's happening all over again, oh damn. It's nothing we could never bear to stand. It started when you took my hands. Take me down or take me out. Take me down or take me out. You talk too much, I can't keep up, cause you took my head when you took my hands. I'm all choked up, that's close enough, cause you took my head when you took my hands. And that's not changing if traffic ain't moving. They start complaining, I hate you for saying. You think it's basic, it's all I got. Expensive champagne, somehow I'm the life of the party. Now I'm making mixtapes to soundtrack all of my worries. With missteps and mistakes, they'll all be gone in a hurry. Now I'm just a mixtape on replay, so don't get too close. These mirrors and smoke can trip you like dope. With friends like these, who needs enemies? Oh, this ain't no joke. There's things you don't know. You're brave, then you're broke. Friends like these, who needs enemies? Oh, if I wasn't watching, I wouldn't notice the things I was promised. Yeah, they're not coming, and I'm barely coping. Crowded and choking, so I get stoned. I hear what you're saying, but honestly it's just boring. Obsessed with my mixtape, the soundtrack all of my worries. If I drop out, well that's the end of the story. So I keep my mixtape on replay. Don't get too close. These mirrors and smoke can trip you like dope. With friends like these, who needs enemies? Oh, this ain't no joke. There's things you don't know. You're brave, then you're broke. With friends like these, who needs enemies? Oh. Don't get too close. These mirrors and smoke can trip